there is a delay of about 10 seconds or so between you doing things on this end and it actually happening on YouTube.
So we're just got to be mindful of that. Don't be like, oh, someone's about to start.
Yeah.
Sort of.
There we go.
Yeah, cool.
So what I would do is, when you're ready to start, so let's say they want to go live at 9:30, right? Most of the time they'll look to whoever's doing the streaming stuff to be like, are we good to go? I would hit the button, go back to YouTube, wait for it to switch over, and then give them the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because then that way it's had enough time. Like once you can see it on here, you know that any of the audio is coming through. And that's it. We're now
they can hear us.
Now they can hear us talking. So there was one person, I think that was Luke. One of my 4 subscribers. I don't want to say I'm pretty massive, but
Actually, I saw 10. I'm pretty sure I saw 10 subscribers.
10 now.
Yeah, and I was a bit impressed. I was going to get sick after the meeting. How many people were
I think one common question that you might get is, how do I enable closed captions if they're not a massive YouTube person? So if you hover over here, there's this little white with the, looks like a keyboard almost.
Yeah.
By pressing on that, there will be the closed captions. I don't know if it's quite working at the moment.
Just quickly. So we enabled it,
Yes.
but the user also has to enable it.
By default, sometimes YouTube will just be like, oh, okay, this stream has enabled closed captions.
Yep.
I'll just enable it. Because
Yep.
we're here, it tends to, it won't show us on our screen because this is a preview and it's trying not to use a lot of bandwidth.
Yep.
YouTube's generally smart enough to be like, oh, they've enabled closed captions, enable closed captions.
It did automatically, yes.
Oh, okay, yep. And sometimes if a person is watching things with closed captions, those settings will carry over. It depends on what YouTube wants to do.
Oh,
It can be a little bit hit and miss.
okay.
It's
So
just-
perhaps we could even, if we have that live chat on, maybe we could say, something about like closed captions, or if you're not
Or even
seeing
you
it, you
put
may
that
need
on
to
that.
enable it yourself.
on that,
The starter
screen.
screen.
On that starter screen,
Yeah.
being like, hey, if you want closed captions, look for this. The only problem with that is if they change what the button looks like.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, we're kind of always at that mercy of, like, I think that, I don't know if that's the old Facebook and the old, I think that's Instagram, but,
I've taken them off.
oh, okay.
It might
I
even
made
be
that
worth
one,
like, so
yeah.
say if like whoever's doing it, I
3
forgot
years
to put
ago,
it on my
something
phone and
like
like use my personal
Yeah.
YouTube and see what's showing up, and if it's not showing up, then maybe.
I mean, the other way that you could do it,
Something,
right,
yeah.
is, like I've opened this in an private window.
Yeah.
If I copy this, go back to Edge, which is what you would normally be using.
Yeah.
You could either use a different browser, or if you didn't want to use a different browser, you could click on the 3 dots, open in private window. If we paste that in there, this will show us what the stream looks like for a complete.
Yeah, cool.
You can see that it automatically put closed captions on.
Oh, brilliant.
And it started to do it. So, yeah, click on the 3 dots, blah, blah, blah. I'll close that because I don't mind the closed captions of what I'm saying. So at this point, we're live and we're going. Unless there's a burning desire to look at the people at the back of the room, or something happens and they want to move, or I don't know, like, unless something happens, you don't really need to play with any of the other things. You just kind of need to sit here and make sure that nothing catches on fire.
And defense will be there, that was their job.
Yeah, exactly. And then once something does catch on fire, just alerts it.
Yeah.
Hey, defense. At this point, while we're now live, you can either have if we've got we're on a break thing, you can either have that previewed and ready to go, or you can have previewed and ready to go, we're done. Depending on what mood you're in, you could be like, no, we're done, or we're actually on a break.
Yeah.
That just means that after they've finished talking, and you can kind of see that everything's ready to wrap up, you don't have to be like,
Yeah.
You can just sort of hit the switch button, and then we're back to being finished.
Very cool.
So at this point, we're kind of done with the stream. We'll switch it back on.